least these guys, had the courtesy to like give me. I mean, look, literally, Seaside Heights is literally 20-minute drive from my house. 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. I'm home. Most guys don't get a drive like that for a decent payday, and they paid me, so I got nothing bad to say about them right now,
Jason Knight. Not the wrestler Jason Knight, promoter.
Jason Knight, the promoter. Jason Knight, the wrestler. Good talker. Jason Knight, the promoter, has good ideas and not enough money to do the ideas with. I like Jason Knight as a promoter, though, because Jason Knight, I work for him all the time. He does his best for me.
Hey, Jason been a friend of mine for years.
Yeah, Jason, the only thing Jason needs is some fucking money to run some, he needs some money. I'm not going to get into some details there. Jason is my friend. I do not want to anger anybody, and I'm not talking bad about you, Jason, but I like ACW. In fact, I'm the ACW World Champ right now, as a matter of fact, in case you didn't know.
And the three-time
USA Pro Champ, and the 2-time IWA World Heavyweight Champion, Puerto Rico.
Frank Goodman.
My favorite promoter.
Excellent.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Jack Sabbath.
Let's call him again. Where's my money?
We will not call him on air.
Let's call him.
I think he's probably home. So we won't call him.
We won't call him.
We won't call Jack. Jack has to take care of his daughter tonight anyway.
Wait, he's got a kid?
Yeah, Jack has a beautiful young daughter.
Wait a second.
Ashley.
How do you have a kid and do what you...
She's a good girl.
I'm speechless.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll skip over Jack. We'll come back to Jack later. But she does. Jack has a beautiful daughter, Ashley, who's going to come to Willie's birthday party.
How old is she?
Willie's 3. I'd say Ashley's probably 6. I'm going to guess and say 6.
Well, no wonder why he can't pay nobody. He's got a kid. And he is a kid. How old is he, 10? Talking about Jack.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to jump in. Okay. ECW. You just got the ECW. First gimmick, biker gimmick.
Gay, sadomasochistic
First
biker.
match.
Crowbar, Devin Storm.
Devin Storm. What'd you do to him?
Fucked him out of a job. That was his last night before I went to WCW. They didn't have a finish for me. I gave him a tombstone. They didn't tell me how to act. I was like, I don't know. I went out there and acted kind of like Gold does. Kind of pumped his face 3 times when I got the count, and then did a strip tease. The big balls.
You become Balls Mahoney.
The Balls Mahoney that there is now?
Yep, you become Balls.
I became Balls Mahoney because I got sick of fucking acting gay. I said, let me be myself tonight. You let me be myself.
How long were you there for that? Till you became Balls?
About 4 or 5 months. Not longer. Maybe
now, before that was really nothing, right?
Yeah, it was nothing.
It was nothing.
I was just working whoever.
Okay, you become Balls.
Yeah.
What happens?
They need someone to work Sandman because Sandman was drunk all the time and was really hurting people with the stick. So they knew I could take it. And Paulie one night on a little house show goes, look, I want you to do Sandman in a Singapore K match. Sure, no problem. And I was like, make sure you hit me hard with the stick. And, Sandman, I guess, didn't like me at first. Is that a tick? Or is that a spider? That's a June bug, okay. I just don't want it biting me. Okay. So, Sandman breaks the stick over my head, and I'm fine. And, does his finish with the leg drop and basically beat me up, It's hard to come out of a match with Sandman unscathed. Right. Now it's a whole different story, but back then it was very hard to come out of a match with Sandman unscathed. And I was, Paul was like, Jesus Christ, man, that was a hell of a match. I'm like, well, thanks, And then he did the whole thing where I would challenge Sandman, Well, actually, it started in the arena the one night. I was wrestling Axel, and Sandman interferes and hits me a couple times with the stick. And I stop him, turn around, and I get the chair, and Paulie goes, Paulie's like, you gotta hit him, and you gotta listen, Bulls, you gotta hit him hard. If it looks soft, it's gonna suck. You gotta hit him. And I'll be honest with you, I've been wrestling how long now by this point? I have never hit nobody in the head with a chair. But you know what? I wrestled Sandman enough times by this point and heard enough about him and seen how drunk he was and seen guys get hurt, and I've been hurt. I'm going, I'll hit that motherfucker. All right. And I drew back, and this is where the chair shot came from. I was like, son of a bitch, and I didn't do this. I drew back like this, took 3 steps, not like, WWF, they go, oh, boom, I took 3 steps out of the corner, swung it like a baseball, like an axe. I used to chop wood. in the winter, our family was kind of poor and we had electrical heating, so I chopped wood all winter to burn a fireplace so we could have heat. So it was a natural motion, and I went, you mother, whoa! And I was supposed to hit him 5 times. The third shot, I blew blood at him. The second shot, I went, and then just went, yuck! And I was yelling just like I am now, a lot louder than I'm trying to be quiet.
Yes, very expensive area I live in.
And I knocked him out in the third chair shot, and that's how Balls Mahoney became Balls Mahoney. Okay. And then it got to the point where at the end of those series of matches, Sandman was hitting me with the chair, and I was hitting him with the stick because he couldn't take the chair shots.
Paul Heyman.
There never would have been Balls Mahoney if there wasn't Paul Heyman. Business-wise, I can hate Paulie a lot. Personally, I actually like Paul. Paulie's the type of guy I could hang out with, have beers with, go drinking with, have a great time with, personally. But business-wise, some pay-per-view bonuses, you know, maybe a thank you. A thank you would have been nice. Shit, you know, you get, business-wise, you can go fuck yourself. Because I got, what, 10 phone calls since ECW shut down. 10 phone calls, you know, most of them before the whole Maryland thing happened, and then the Maryland thing happens, I don't hear from you again. I even called you up to ask your advice the other night when XPW wanted me to do something. I was like, nah, I don't think so. I'm you know what, I'll call you and we'll see what happens. Bob Black wanted me to work, and the first thing I did was I just figured, well, I don't know anybody up there. I'll call him and, hey, Paulie, I need your advice on something. XPW wants me to work for him. If I go there, is it going to hurt me or not? Please give me a call back at your earliest convenience. I mean, it's still, what's tonight? Tonight's Wednesday, right? So there still could possibly actually be a phone call message from him tonight, but I highly freaking doubt it, so.
I've been friends with Paul for 20 years.
How many times you talked to him on the phone?
On the phone? 20 years ago, I would speak to him every night, and then slowly it became once a year. Now it's...
No, wait, here you go. Frank, oh, gee. Hey, I'll call you back in 6 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I happened to have spoke to Paul 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it Paul or Raul?
That was Paul.
It was Paul? It wasn't Raul?
That was Paul.
Hello? No, Buddy's not here. This is Raul. Okay, I'll tell him you called. Oh, you're the dick. Yeah.
Best memory in ECW.
Wow. One memory?
One memory.
The first tag team championship. My friend had died. Co-captain of my wrestling team died 3 weeks before the November Remember. Me and Tanaka won the belts at, and kid was an environmentalist engineer, was a member of Surf Rider, and was this big surfer, still lifted weights avidly, had a great body. Short kid, wrestled 130 pounds, named Adam O'Donnell. Goes to the gym. He was one of the kids that supported me. He was one of the only kids in school who was like, you're gonna do it, don't worry. Fuck what these people think about wrestling. They think you're an idiot. You're gonna do it. And kid drops dead. Boom, bam! Walks to the gym, signs his name. Aneurysm burst before he even fucking finished signing his name. He was dead before he hit the floor. And I put his name on the back of my chair of the pay-per-view match, and I didn't know until that, like 5 minutes before we were going out to the ring, that we were gonna win the belts that night. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I came back and I was crying like a baby. That was probably one of the best memories.
Excellent. Worst memory you ever had? Worst night in ECW? Ever a night that you went home and you just said, you know what? This sucked.
Yeah, the last Hammerstein show.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know I'm a big football fan.
Right, big football fan.
I'm a huge Giant fan.
First time we met. First
show.
First time you had to sit there and watch the whole Giant game.
I had to watch that whole Giant game before I could even come in the locker room. Yep. And that was the same. That was the year we went.
Yep.
We went, man. We're going. You
want to know what? If I remember correctly, that might have been the day after the Hammerstein. Think about it. You versus Just Incredible.
No, because I had ticket. No, that was the first Hammerstein. I'm talking about the last.
Right, but it was the first. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the day after the first Hammerstein. But the last Hammerstein, I wasn't advertised for the show. There was no plans. There was no talk to me about the show. I know I'm just another filler. I get a phone call. I got 50-yard line tickets set up. I got the money for them. Giants, Eagles. You know, that was Seahorns, that great defense. And I'm a defensive fan. I've been to I was at every Giant home game from 82 to 93, okay? I'm a Giant fan. I'm a fucking fanatic. I live, eat, breathe, shit, die the New York Giants, okay? I call Heyman up, and for the first time in, like, what, almost 6 years, I asked for the night off. I said, Paulie, you have no